Andrew, we're looking at a couple of years of data here. So 21 all the way up to 24.
Hmm.
And just to give you an orientation to this slide, there's a few things going on here, but the green bar is the average units per performance. So when we say units, you can think of that as tickets. How many tickets did we sell per performance? The black rectangle near the bottom of the green bar is the number of performances we had in the data set. So of all the orchestras that there were 250 holiday themed performances in
Hmm.
2024. And we're looking at things like Christmas Spectacular and Holiday Pops and Messiah and a whole wide range of things that fall under the umbrella of holiday in the orchestra sector. And then the purple rectangle near the top is the average revenue per performance. So interesting is still seeing growth across the board, and that happened even with this blue house arrow box at the bottom of the screen. There were
Right.
8% fewer performances of holiday in 2024 versus 2023 because Thanksgiving was late in 2024, so there was less time. There was fewer weeks, dates to have holiday performances. But even with that lesser amount of performances, there was still an increase. So I think Mariah would hit a high note for saying there's still interest and heat around holiday performances.
Okay, so that's a big aha moment. So the calendar in 2024 prevented us from being able to necessarily what?
Have as much inventory, really. That's what
I
it
see.
boils down to, right? You can only make so much money. It's all tied to how much inventory you actually have in those
Hmm.
cases. Yeah, indeed. So we had
Okay.
less inventory, but we still made. Actually, I think you have that stat actually behind the scenes there, Andrew. How much did revenue grow for orchestras between 2023 and 2024 holiday wise?
Yeah, revenue total, we did about 1,000,007 more in 24 than we did in 2023. So there is more revenue, but fewer but not as much of a unit growth. We only did about 327,000 units compared to 324. So only about 3,000 and some
Uh-huh.
change units more, but that revenue quite a bit.
So we stayed kind of flat maybe with units, but with less performances. So actually we sold
Hmm.
more per. And then we'll hold on to that note about the revenue for a second. So let's go to the next slide because this is orchestras. The other one we look at is holiday for theaters. So we're looking at
Okay.
Christmas Carol essentially here. That's their big product line. Some Pantos in here as well, but pretty similar story. Green bar up,
Hmm.
purple bar is up as well, but 23% fewer performances because of that late Thanksgiving. And actually, overall, it doesn't look it here. You don't see it. Andrew actually has this number. The revenue was down a little
Yeah.
bit. Was it like about what percentage was that?
Yeah, revenue was down about 19% overall.
Yeah.
Units were down 21.
But average revenue per production, per up from 19,000, almost 20,000 to 21. So it's still a driver. We're still seeing a lot of heat around the holidays, but knowing, it is a finite number. So knowing how many weeks and dates we have plays a role, especially when we think about budgeting. And Andrew, if you don't mind going to the next slide,
Yeah,
this is
definitely.
where, and some of you raised this question earlier, how does price play a factor in things? So as you were signing up, some of you raised the question, hey, can we talk about price a little bit and how do we put price in context and when and where do we raise prices? So it's interesting here orchestras had about a 9% raise in average paid ticket price. So this isn't listed ticket prices, but this is, Andrew, what we would call per capita revenue. And we're going to use that phrase a lot in today's webinar. But essentially, if you sold 100 tickets, if you sold $100 and you sold 10 tickets, the per capita revenue is $10. So you're per. So here,
Okay.
our per capita revenue went up 9%. So even though we had fewer performances in orchestras, we still got to that revenue nut because that average per paid was higher in 2024 than it was in 2023. And it didn't look like there was a softening. We sometimes wonder when the
Mhm.
per cap goes down, maybe that means there's more revenue fear on the side of the customer, or there's more sensitivity, but we didn't see that here. That doesn't seem to have happened yet. What's interesting is, if you don't mind, Andrew, going to the next slide.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there was actually a little bit of slowdown with per cap on the theater side of things. So that's an interesting area to dig into is did we see less of an increase? It went up 3%, but not as much as orchestras did between 2023 and 2024. The $52 to the 53. Is that maybe a little bit of softening with our audiences or fear, or did we hold ticket prices? So that'd be a question you want to ask yourself internally is how do our per caps look? Put it
Mhm.
in context. Did your prices go up or down, meaning your listed prices? And that helps putting those two things together helps to frame out we seeing our audiences still have a hunger
Yep.
for higher priced inventory, or are they starting to retrench back?